Hello, Betty Krawczyk here. I play sometimes a song by a country western singer, Merle Haggard. He's gone now, but I particularly like some of his songs, which are funny or really hit the mark or have some meaning to them. And there's one that I like the most now because it seems apropos now as a song entitled Are the Good Times Really Gone for Good? And within the body of this song, there is a line that asks a question: are we rolling downhill like a snowball headed for hell? And of course, my impulse when I hear that is to say, yes, 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 yes. That describes the situation exactly that we are in right now. But in truth, it is. It may have some surface analogies, but it doesn't pretend the space we get to once we get through the pain and the suffering that we will undergo during this period of time. I want to mention a name that might make some people shrink and say, oh no, she's not one of those. I am um, a Marxist in the sense that I have studied Karl Marx to a certain extent. I'm nowhere near being an expert or understanding it all. But there is one part of the theory that Marx invented, so to speak, is something called dialectical materialism. Or I don't think he actually invented it. I think a philosopher before him actually coined the phrase. But in dialectical materialism of Marx's theory, he likens it to a woman in labor. The baby that she has been nourishing all this time is about to be born. And during the time that she has carried a fetus, it has actually been like a parasite on her body in that it has used her blood, it has used her life forces to build up its own life forces, its body, its tissue, its brain, its the complete person is going to be when it is born. And and by the way, this is not a kind of a cover for pro-life people. I am pro-abortion in the sense that any woman who wants an abortion should have it. This is just a theory I'm talking about to illustrate the way Marx did of how the pain and labor of a certain time of suffering, because any woman who's had a natural baby, as I started to say, childbirth, knows the hellish pain that goes with it. But then the baby is born and it's a beautiful child and you love it and you want to protect it and everything's lovely. But to get to that baby, what the woman goes through is one of well, just ask any woman who's had worrisome pregnancies or what have you, that and the pain then of the actual birth is something else again. Anyway, this is what he calls dialectical materialism when and likens it to societies or countries who are going through the birth pains of a new thing being born that is both part of the old thing because it came from one source, but going into a new thing. And I think that our new thing is going to be fantastic because there are enough people now who can understand and not be afraid to talk about how we have been ruled these last years completely by corporations, and it's not democracy anymore. It is corporate rule, and that has to go because it makes everybody miserable. It makes trying to deal with the ills of a humankind in any sensible way impossible. But now, just think. Chinese girls and little children in Beijing can look at the skies and say, skies, and say, "Mommy, Mommy, what's wrong with the skies? Are the skies falling?" And have the mother be able to say, "No, and yes, that's the color of the sky." And we will be able to contemplate the end of fracking in the United States and some in Canada, because it's not viable. They never did make any money. They had to borrow huge sums of money in order to even do this evil thing. And then now they're not going to be able to pay their loans because the cost of oil is so low. So let's be grateful for that, even, regardless of who did what to whom, that it's there. And we can think seriously now about how we're going to get energy. We can go to the good energy fields. And maybe our oceans will stop being so hugely polluted when manufacturing and agriculture stops pouring all of their, well, you know what, into the waters. And maybe clear cutting will cease its frantic space and pace in Brazilian forests and here in Canada. Maybe it'll slow more because there's not going to be such a big demand for toothpicks anymore, or whatever the Canadians are making out of our forests. And anyway, we will get to a new place, and it's going to be up to these young people. And they are doing it. They are doing it. They are thinking about other ways to form governments, other ways to relate to each other that's not guided by money transactions, and that human relationships will become human once again. I'm not calling for old times. I'm calling for new times. We're going to have them. And minus, I believe, the frantic endeavor of people whose left brain takes over their whole system of behaving and does evil works among us poor plebes. So we can look forward to that and help work towards that and encourage it. If young people are talking about that, it's you don't always get approval from your children, but you can plow ahead anyway. Yes, we will try. We will be there. We will do what we can, and we will survive. And Merle Haggard, you know, you were too ready to give it all up. We're not going to give it up. Okay? Thank you. Bye. Next time.